going on, guys? Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. And the China spy balloon, we talked about it the other day. It's been the biggest news of the weekend. And you probably missed some news because that was taking up a lot of news coverage, and we'll cover that soon. So it passed right over my state. It started in Alaska, went all the way through the U.S., crossed across the U.S., and yeah, man, it passed from my house. I got some photos I took from my house, and there's a shot there, and there's a zoomed in shot there. So yeah, you better believe that if I had a rifle capable to reach it, I probably would have taken a few pot shots at it. But anyway, in the sun, it glared like I guess the apparatus underneath it glared. I mean, it was like, pretty bright. And at one point I counted maybe, I think it was 23 jets. I put it on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. I'm out of the shadow ban, I think, on Instagram. So I'm posting, I didn't post there for a long time, but I'm posting there again. So you'll get a lot of quick news and stuff like that. So follow me on Instagram, Black Scout Survival there. And I also have a personal account, Jack Rich, and follow me on those accounts. It's like a backup in case something bad happens. But yeah, definitely go follow me there because I'll be putting quick news stuff there, pieces and things like that, things I may not cover on YouTube. But I posted these pictures and things up. I did a video talking about it because I was actually driving down the road when I first seen it, because I seen like jets swarming the area. And then the sun hit it, and it was like a big glare of light coming from that apparatus underneath it. But yeah, so anyway, it was shot down over the Atlantic, right outside of Myrtle Beach. If you freaking South Carolina, you know Myrtle Beach area. That's the most Myrtle Beach thing that can happen. Myrtle Beach is a scumbag. I'm sorry if you live in Myrtle Beach, but I spent a lot of time there as a kid. But anyway, they shot it, I think, within 12 miles, still in U.S. territory. And so China was pretty upset about it, and they said they were going to retaliate on us for that. So anyway, we have, let me pull up that article for you real quick. Some people don't like to see articles. I saw people complaining, but articles is how I validate what I'm saying. Beijing threatens to respond after U.S. shoots down Chinese spy balloon. This is from France News. Usually, like I said before, I always go around and get my news from all over the place to try to like corroborate or collaborate, stories, and see what, try to find the real news. So see where usually outside of the U.S. you get less propaganda. You get a lot of propaganda within the U.S. with news media sources, so you got to be careful. But anyway, people were very happy. The liberals were very happy that Biden shot down the balloon. So anyway, going on down here, it talks about China and someone resident in Myrtle Beach said they felt the explosion. I don't know if I believe that, but anyway, I got conflicting stories. So we have Shaw Air Force Base out of Sumter, and it was initially reported from Fox News that the pilots were from there that shot it down. But then I saw other national news that it was actually at a Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, which would be more likely. The CIA is right up there. Anyway, so China's strong dissatisfaction and protest against the use of force by the United States attack an unmanned civilian airship, they said. Instead of responding in a restrained manner, the ministry stated that the United States insisted on using force, clearly overreacting. China will resolutely safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of relevant enterprises and reserve the right to make further necessary responses, the statement added. So they're pretty much threatening us, right? And I think that's a lot of what this whole thing was, and there's a few funky things about this. I'll show the videos of it getting shot down too. That's the aftermath. So you see the balloon collapse, the apparatus is disconnected from it. How they shot this thing down, they had no, you would think they would want to salvage this thing, but they obliterated this thing. Why would you not want to salvage this and get intel from it is beyond me. Why would you want to just straight out destroy it? There's a few disturbing facts about this now. Very disturbing facts, and maybe people haven't been talking about, but I'm going to talk about. I've got a video here talking about Joe Biden wanting to shoot this down since Wednesday. We'll go ahead and play this clip for you real quick so you can hear it.
On Wednesday, when I was briefed on the balloon, I ordered the Pentagon to shoot it down.
He said, on Wednesday, when I was briefed on it, I ordered the Pentagon to shoot it down.
Wednesday, as soon as possible. They decided, without doing damage to anyone on the ground, they decided that the best time to do that was as it got over water outside within the 12-mile limit. They successfully took it down, and I want to compliment our aviators who did it, and we'll have more to report on this a little later. Thank you.
Mr. President, what did you say about China? What's your message to China?
You were saying the recommendation was from your national security.
I told them to shoot it down.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
But the recommendation.
They said to me, let's wait till the safest place to do it.
So he said that he recommended for them to shoot it down on Wednesday, and they waited until Saturday once it cleared the freaking complete United States. So either he's lying and gave in to China, or he's honestly admitting that he's not in charge and that his orders mean nothing as commander-in-chief. And I would say that even if you look at Trump, he experienced the same thing where he gave orders and they were, not paid attention to, which both are bad. So either he's a puppet and people don't listen to him, or he gave in to China. I guess it comes down to who is truly in charge of the United States. If the order from the president is ignored by a general who also openly defied the sitting president, we're talking about Milley here. Milley said that he would take Trump out if he tried to push the button. He called China and told him that. This is a sign of a hijacked government in a failed state. Wouldn't you agree with that? And so here's a letter from Lloyd Austin, Secretary of Defense, this afternoon, at the direction of President Biden. U.S. fighter aircraft assigned to the U.S. Northern Command successfully brought down the high-altitude surveillance balloon launched by and belonging to the People's Republic of China over the water of the coast of South Carolina in the U.S. airspace. The balloon, which was being used by the PRC as an attempt to surveil strategic sites in the continental U.S., was brought down above U.S. territorial waters. On Wednesday, President Biden gave his authorization to take it down. So why did they wait so long? Does anybody have an answer to that? Let me know in the comments. So my hypothesis is that Joe Biden said, "Hey, Chi, this is Joe Biden. Would it be okay for me to shoot down your surveillance balloon? This looks bad for me, and if we shoot it down, once the mission is complete, once you got all the intel you needed, would that be okay? If not, I understand. We'll say it's a weather balloon or something, and that's not posing a threat. Blah blah blah. I don't know. Either way, any way you slice this pie, it smells like dog doo-doo. Okay. And then you have liberals that are there's something I want to talk about. Maybe I'm going to talk about it again, but you have liberals saying, well, it's a weather balloon, or they're saying, oh, well, it happened under the Trump administration. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And then you have conservatives and saying, oh, it's fake. Why would they tell us about it unless it was some false flag? They didn't want you to know about it, guys. It started in Alaska, and they're saying they had to wait till it got in a clear space. Alaska's freaking full of area to shoot this down. Montana, I've been to Montana numerous times. There's no better place to shoot something down than in Montana. I've been all over Montana in snowmobiles for many years, and there's nothing but, it's like open country. But they didn't want you to know about it. They knew about it. The U.S. authorities were well aware of the unidentified object, and that had entered American airspace on January 28th, and that had left and re-entered over northern Idaho on Tuesday. But with such a high-profile trip at stake, and we're talking about Blinken going over to China to meet them, the only reason why you found out about it was because somebody in Billings, Montana, a resident, spotted the balloon on Wednesday, February 1st. And around 5:30 p.m. local time the next day, a local Montana paper published a report about it. Later that day, the Pentagon finally confirmed the existence of the balloon. Officials spoke to Bloomberg, claimed by the time it had been visible in Montana, President Joe Biden had already been briefed about the balloon and knew about it. That's when they just decided and was scrambling to say, oh, we're going to blow that sky. This has been 5 days of monitoring already. Once they announced it, once you found out about it. So all those, the extreme conservatives, oh, it's a fake, man. They ain't use. I got a Google map on my phone. We use these type of balloons too. Like, these balloons have a purpose, right? Of course they can use satellites. Of course they can use TikTok. They can use all these other things. This balloon serves a purpose. Do I know what that is? No. Do you know what that is? No, right? It could be spreading some kind of virus. We don't know what it is. There's a reason why they sent it over. Maybe it was just to show that how weak we are. We can fly a surveillance balloon all the way through your country without you doing anything about it. Maybe the next thing will be Chinese fighter jets. Yeah, Kathy Irving. I don't know why they did that. Thanks for the super chat. I don't know. They obliterated the thing. Like, we can't even salvage it. Like, you want to go get, these components, right? You don't want to destroy it. I mean, these must have been novices. I mean, when they said Shaw, those guys are pretty good. I'm like, no, I didn't think they were Shaw when these people just obliterated the most important piece of the balloon, But anyway, so the Biden admin considered the political implications of not dealing with the spy balloon because it's all over the news. Everybody in America knew about it. So they knew they had to exercise some extreme caution, especially because we're looking at a heated political environment ahead of 2024 elections. And the Republicans are obviously striking harder than last time because of the just previous elections. The Pentagon is saying that there has been several previous balloon incursions going through Texas and Florida before. They're saying this happened for many years. Have you ever heard about it? Not me. Have you heard about it? And it happened during the Trump administration, they say, and that Trump did nothing about it. I even seen a liberal post on my Instagram a little bit earlier and said, yeah, guys, this isn't that big of a deal because Trump let them fly through and didn't do anything about it. Trump says he never knew anything about it. And all of his national security personnel said they knew nothing about it. They questioned the Pentagon, why have they not been told about it? Or when were they supposedly told about it? They said, well, we can't give a clear explanation when it happened or how it was handled. So it never got up to that level if it did happen. Or is this just propaganda lies from the leftist regime that's in office? When they were asked for some specifics, the Pentagon, about when this supposedly happened under the Trump administration, they were unable to give them. But they said, oh, it happened all over. It went through Florida, Texas, all this sort of. So one of two things. They're making it seem like Trump did nothing because they're about to come into elections. Orange man bad, basically, as usual. Or they literally have just been allowing China to actively spy on us without ever attempting to stop it. What's the more likely scenario? Either one of them, or it could be both. Who knows? Maybe they didn't tell Trump. Maybe it was happening, and they wanted to allow them to spy. We've got daggum Chinese spies entering in the military with no problem. We're giving them bonuses, sign-on bonuses. Join our military, spy on us, take our stuff. We've got Chinese. We're full of Chinese spies. We've got balloons flying all over the place. They're letting them fly all through the U.S., doing nothing about it. It's mind-boggling. Our country is extremely weak, and people are like, well, why are we so weak? Well, this is why. Like this meme here. I have no idea why China thought they could get away with this. This is what our military is. I mean, we literally got the trans flag and the LGBT flag with the American flag here. Look at Lloyd Austin down here. He's double masked, got a visor on. We got Dog Man here. And this dude right here, it's crazy. Our country's weak. It's wild. Like, if you would have told me, and I say this every week I'm doing these, videos and stuff and talking to my buddies, and I'm like, man, if you would have told me like whatever the topic is for that night of the video, I'm like, if you had ever told me that what I'm talking about tonight would have ever happened, I'd be like, you're a freaking liar, right? You're a liar. Anyhow, let's talk about what you missed though, because a lot of people said, in my commentary and on Instagram and stuff, they're like, hey, what are they really putting behind our back? Because they're, exploiting this balloon thing. It's all over all the media, so even on CNN. Well, this is what it is. This is what they slip past you. And this is the title of the video. What they slipped past you while you were paying attention to the balloon. The House Oversight Committee holds hearing on federal pandemic spending, where all those billions of tax dollars went of yours while you were struggling to eat.
To recognize, but the minority side of our committee here, over $5 trillion in COVID relief funding, and we can't find $560 billion, I believe, of that money of the Americans' hard-earned taxpayer funding. We're also a nation at $34 trillion in debt, and we're on the verge of having to handle our debt ceiling.
All right, she's going to get very, very gangster here in a second. So don't smash your phone or laptop or whatever you're watching this on. You're going to get pissed off. I'm warning you. I'm forewarning you. Don't break it. Don't get mad at me. This is where your money went.
Gentlemen, I thank you for coming and speaking.
Well, I got to get to the
has
part.
Been used with COVID relief funds, and it's pretty shocking to me. You know, I read some examples. For example, Washington, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser plans to use $31.5 million in American Rescue Plan funds to transition homes to green energy over the next 5 years.
That's nothing. That's nothing. Just stand by.
As many small businesses were shut down.
A lot of small businesses. People that work their entire life to make a business happen and got them snatched out from under them for this bull.
Children lost 2 years in education. Child
Kids
went up.
Kids were committing suicide because they were locked in their room, and for this nonsense, for this money grab.
It's hard to even imagine a child committing suicide. Many people died from COVID. Healthcare workers were fired from vaccine mandates. Many other people were fired because of vaccine mandates. And all the issues that have come out of COVID. I want to ask about how this money has been spent, because clearly there is a tremendous amount of waste, fraud, and abuse, and a lot of
that's mild. To say waste, fraud, abuse is mild.
Our hard-earned taxpayers' dollars spent on things that don't even make sense that they've been spent on. So, Mr. Dodaro, if you don't mind answering a few of my questions, can you tell me, as our comptroller of the United States, how much COVID cash was given to abortion?
I do not know that answer. I don't have
The comptroller doesn't know where our money went to?
that answer.
Oh, okay. So I can tell you Planned Parenthood clinics received $80 billion in COVID relief loans, which is hard to understand.
80 billion. I mean, they're in competition with Ukraine for abortions. They're trying to kill Americans, population control.
And how that happened. Mr. Dodaro, can you tell me how much money COVID cash went towards diversity, equity, and inclusion or racism issues?
Again, we have not looked at that issue, so I don't know.
The man don't have a clue where the money went. Doesn't care.
Oh, geez. Well, I can tell you the Pennsylvania Humanities Council did receive $1.4 million in relief and used it for equity and geographic diversity. I'm not sure how that helped in a pandemic.
Hot damn, we got a pandemic and we're spending on this nonsense.
Time. Mr. Dodaro, can you tell me how much COVID cash went to CRT?
CRT.
He's like, what is that? Quit playing. You know what that is.
Critical race theory in education. It's a racist curriculum used to teach children that somehow their white skin is not equal to black skin and other things in education.
Yeah. No, I do not know that, but I do know that there's provisions that the federal funds generally are not used. They're supposed to be used for curriculum.
Oh.
So we're not supposed to be using them for them, but we're allowing them to do it. And this guy's in charge. Why has he still got a job?
That's a state.
Oh, Mr. Dodaro, I have to tell you, in Illinois, they received $5.1 billion.
5.1 billion in CRT curriculums, guys. Your tax money. When you were struggling to keep your business alive or scared that you're going to die, there was $5.1 billion of your tax money spent in CRT.
at an elementary school there that used it for equity and diversity. So it's being used for these things. Mr. Dodaro, can you tell me how much money was given to Drag Queen Story Hour?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Who?
Drag Queen Story Time, where men dress up as women and read confusing books to children.
First, I thought you said dry clean. So, I'm sorry.
Dry clean would have been better. I'd rather had dry clean story hour.
No, I don't know the answer to either one of those two.
Oh, we need to look into this, and I urge you to do that. Bradbury Sullivan LGBT Community Center in Pennsylvania received $16,000 for Drag Queen Story Time.
$16,000 for Drag Queen Story Hour from pandemic relief funds. Is $16,000 like nothing to you guys? This is ridiculous. Like, something's got to happen. Our country is going down the tunnel. Like, change has got to happen ASAP. Like, somebody's got to do something. This is ridiculous, and it's careless, and we're not going to last. Like, it's mind-boggling that people are such into identity politics that they'll go for this bullshit, you know, and it's sad. Like, businesses went under, people died, and this is where tax dollars went to indoctrinate children in CRT, racist theories, indoctrinate them into drag queen story time, all this nonsense. And then this is America's doomed. It's doomed. For 5% of the population, we're changing our country as a whole. This is a church from my wife's hometown up in Frederick, Maryland, with this LGBT flag saying God is still speaking. Even churches are pandering to the 5% of the population. Like, I really don't care if I hurt your freaking feelings. I don't care if I make you upset. I don't care if you unfollow me. I don't care you go write nasty comments. Like, it's got to change. Like, it's disgusting, and it pisses me off. I really don't know what more to say. We just let a spy balloon fly through the United States, regardless of whatever it was. No foreign aircraft of any sort should be able to fly through the United States. Tax dollars, America. I work hard, man. I work hard. You know, during the pandemic, even now, you know, a lot of small businesses are struggling. People don't have money to spend. We're struggling, and they're spending money that we work hard for. I mean, I work freaking 80, 90 hours a week, and they spend it on bullshit like this. I know a lot of you hardworking Americans that watch me feel the same way. I don't know. This pisses me off. This video pisses me off. All this does. I don't have an answer, guys. I wish I did. There's been a lot of people in a lot of positions that could have done things, and they didn't. Former presidents, Donald Trump in charge of the entire military, yet we're still in this situation. A lot of people had lost opportunities that did nothing, and now we're here, right? I'm black-pilled. I've said that time and time again. I don't know if you're new here or not. But what that means is I don't think there's hope. I don't think there's no turning back, turning course. I think there's too many corrupt people in our government of all sides, and they're all in this together. They play us. Divide and conquers the game, and that's what they do. We're full of tyrants, red and blue, both sides. Because if I'd been president and this stuff was happening, I wouldn't leave office. It would change, right? And I would die trying to fix it. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys hanging out. I do want to say this. We got these knives in our store. I think they're called the UC1. I'm so mad. I'm sorry. I'm so mad. I forgot what I was even going to talk about. I'm doing giving away a patch. We take our patches seriously. We're giving away patches while they last for these knives. I'm so pissed off. I can't even remember the names. They're UC1s, I think the name is. We got them in store while supplies last. Or good folders, EDC blades. And this was the deal for the week, is that you get one of our crests, but I'm so mad I can't even think. Anyhow, guys, leave me some comments, and as always, stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Take care.